see here, I gotta pull up my YouTube on my iPad so I can moderate the comments. Hopefully we don't get any trolls. Knock on wood. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let me know if you can hear me okay. So the other day I had my AirPods in the whole time, and I realized afterward that my Bluetooth was off, so it wasn't even picking up my voice from the AirPods. Genius. So yeah, can you hear me okay? Let me know. Got my chat pulled up here. Let's see if I can. Aha. Full screen chat. Excellent. I'm learning more and more about YouTube lives all the time. Okay, so today I am going to figure out basically how I want to do a full bust adjustment on this shirt piece, which will become this little, actually I think I'm gonna make the short sleeve version. So this is Vintage Simplicity pattern 4310. And the other thing I'm gonna decide on is how to turn this into a actual button-up shirt, because as you can see there are no buttons. It's really more of like a kind of cover-up type thing. Super cute, but I really would like to be able to button it up and you know, wear it to work virtually, and just be able to kind of cover up if I don't want to show my midriff area. So that's what I'm gonna do today. So I've got my piece all traced out, and I'm gonna move the camera so that you can see what I'm working on. Hopefully that's enough. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move my camera up a little bit more. Bear with me. There we go. Okay, sorry. All right, so let's see. So this is, I'm gonna move this for a minute, and this, the back piece. So this is the shirt front piece, right? And you know what, actually I'm gonna move the camera one more time, sorry. Hold on, we're working with one camera setup here. We're making it work here. All right, so this part down here is the little tie front, right? And this is the sleeve, obviously. And if I'm gonna make a short sleeve, I would cut here and here. So a couple things about this pattern for my usage. So like I said, there's no buttons on here. And the interesting thing about this is that, so you can see this is the center front right here. I don't know if you can see that. There's a line right here. That is actually the center front of your body. And then as you can see, this doesn't just go straight down here. This is the collar. It doesn't just go straight down here like a normal shirt would and have the button placket. This actually has this little shaping bit here. And so this is the grain right here. Can't really see it that well. Grain line is right here. So basically what I have to do is figure out how I want to extend that front piece. See, so that's the grain, and this part right here is not on grain. So I'm probably gonna have to actually extend this straight down and then curve in a bit here, because I want to be able to button it, and the button placket needs to be on grain. in every shirt I've made, it's always been on grain. So I'm thinking it needs to be on grain. All right. So, and then the other thing about this top in particular, so I said I was going to do a full bust adjustment. Well, I've got to figure out a couple of things. I got to figure out where the bust point even is on here, because it's not marked, unfortunately. And the other thing I need to figure out is how I'm going to add to this, because there's no darts for the front. You know, as you can see, stylistically, it's really just kind of gathered because of the ties here. There's no darts. So that's how all the shaping is done, essentially. So basically, I could just kind of extend this and make it wider completely, and then maybe, like, I mean, you know, from the hem all the way up to the shoulder, I could just widen it that way. And then I could put in a dart for the waist. That's an option. Because there's different ways to do full bust adjustments, you know. Depending on your pattern, you might do it differently. And actually, I might do a full bust adjustment as well to the little bra top. So here's the other piece right there, that little bra top. Sorry, I'm shaky. That might need an adjustment as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm gonna do some measuring of the pieces before I do any adjustments, because I want to see. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't include the finished garment measurements on here on any of the pieces. Actually, you know what? Let's just, for the heck of it, let's just check the instructions and see if the finished garment measurements are anywhere. I doubt it, but I didn't see them anywhere else, and that would be very useful before I start making any adjustments. I always get nervous with this old paper. It's very delicate sometimes. Yeah, no, there's no finished garment measurements. That's okay. So what I'm gonna do is measure, let's see. I'm gonna try to kind of guess where the bust point is on here. And I mean, I'm thinking it's probably gonna be about, I could hold it up. Let's see here, hold on. Hi, Kathy and Steve. All right, so, you know, unfortunately this is paper and it doesn't really drape like fabric would, so I'm kind of guessing here, but this is the center front right here. This line, that needs to be centered as I can get it on my neck. And that needs to be right there. Hello from Toronto. Hello! Got Canada up in the house. Okay, so my bust point is about right here. So I'm gonna try to mark that down. No idea where it's actually meant to be. That's about where mine is. Do it one more time. Check it. So that's the center front, and then the seam allowance. See, I'll be right about there. Okay, yeah, that's way too low. I need to raise it by about an inch and come in just a little bit. Okay. That looks a little bit more accurate. Okay. Well, you know what? We're just gonna go with that. So So now my options are to, like I said, either cut fully down kind of here and add. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut from the shoulder. I mean, it really should be through the bust point. You guys are getting really in real time some problem solving, because this is pretty much what I do when I sew. I kind of hem and haw and think about it and scratch my head, and usually take a while to figure out the fit beforehand, but it usually pays off in the long run. So yeah, I think, well, you know what, the only thing is though that I'm just thinking if I cut through here, because it really should be to the bust point, then I'm gonna have to extend this, which isn't a big deal, but you know what, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm making a decision. And actually though, before I cut anything, I wanted to measure this to try to see if I can kind of get what the full or the finished garment measurements are going to be. And I'm going to have to measure the back too. So, all right. I wish I had a 2-camera setup. Someday I'll get there. All right. So here's my piece. Here's my bust point right there. And see, the other thing about this too is that this is such a this is a kimono style sleeve, so it's so loose, it's really not fitted. Since I'm doing the short sleeve version, I have to make sure I measure from that seam line, the 5/8 inches from that cut edge right there. And then also I've got to take into account 5/8 of an inch here too. I can usually eyeball, but I will be proper for you. So, okay. So the front is about 11 3/4 inches at the bust. So times 2. Where's my, oh, I was like, where's my calculator? You're it. Hold on, let me get my calculator. I could do this in my head, but you know, I think that would take probably just as long. Wait, does the iPad not have a freaking calculator app? That's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Whatever. All right. So 22 6/4. Whatever, that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna measure the back as well. I'm sure someone is already doing this and laughing at me. I'll probably put it in the chat. Nope. Okay. So I'm gonna try to measure from the same height. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. Again, I love these old patterns because look at this. The shaping of this is so nice. Here. Gonna make it so it's lined up here on grain. So see how it's curving in here at the back to create some nice shaping at the waist. And this is not cut on the fold, so it's a nice kind of dip in to your lower back, like waist area. And then also, the darts are curved to create a nice shaping as well. So, gonna line up these little dots right here, because I'll know that the seam line is matched up. Okay. So I measured from there. All right. So again, I gotta make sure I take into account my seam allowance here. And over here as well. Okay, now measure from here to here. That is 9 1/4. The dart will affect that just a tiny bit, but not really enough to where I'm gonna even worry about it. So 9 1/4 times 2, 18 1/2. So 18 1/2. And then that's 22, so that's 23 1/2. Yeah, 23 1/2. So 23 1/2 in the front and 18 1/2 in the back. So that would give us a grand total of 11, 12, 42 inches. Is that right? Yeah. 42 inches for the finished garment measurement for the bust. So, if this is supposed to be for a 34-inch bust, that would give us a difference of 8 inches. Shouldn't have to do that on paper. But anyway, 8 inches difference. Is that correct? Yes, okay. So in theory, oh, you know what? I have to go grab my measuring tape. So I will be right back. Please enjoy the room. I meant to measure myself before and I forgot, so that's okay. I am going to measure my bust and let's see, it's about 37 3/4. Okay. And my upper bust is it's about 35 1/2 with some room for breathing. So let's see here. Put my little bolero back on. Shoot, I'm not moderating the chat, so hopefully hopefully nobody came out of the woodwork for that little sequence. All right, did I put that on upside down? No. Okay. So I said, what, 35.5 for my upper bust? All right, so this is for 34 bust. I'm not gonna worry about the upper bust and bust measurement difference for this piece. I might worry about that a little bit more for the bra. But for this one, just gonna go with it because it's so loose that it's really not gonna be a big deal. But, so yeah, so there's an 8-inch difference. So that means that if I build in 8 inches difference to my 37.75 bust, that would be $45. Yeah, because add 3 inches. Yeah. So I would have to be, my finished garment measurement would have to be 45.75 inches. Hello from Texas. Hello. Yeehaw. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. It's getting late. I'm getting tired. Good evening. How are you doing today? How is everybody doing? Let me know. It's kind of funny just chatting to 7 people and not actually having a conversation. I'm just kind of talking at you. I'm hoping that this is somewhat interesting or helpful. That's everyone's reactions. Well, I've been to Texas, but only to the airport. So someday I really would love to go and actually visit Texas. Hopefully that can happen. COVID fine. Okay. I mean, COVID fine is better than COVID bad. Oh my gosh, does anybody else like Topo Chico? Living that lockdown life. I hear ya. I don't do that much, but I did get my first vaccine, so I feel a little bit more comfortable doing things, but still not super, you know, I'm not doing a whole lot. Visit Austin for sure. I would love to. I've heard Austin is really cool. Is that where you're from? Yeah, Topo Chico. Love it. All right, anyway, not sponsored. Okay, so where am I at here? All right, so I need to add 3 inches basically to the width of my shirt. Best city in Texas. All right. So I need to add 3 inches to this width here. And I don't want to really add anything. Actually, you know what? I didn't measure the waist. You know what? It's not really going to be a problem, but actually I can just look at the size chart and see, compare my waist to what they call for. Okay, so this is a size 16, which means that it expects the waist to be 28 inches. My waist is smaller than that, so I definitely don't want to add too much, or else it's going to be way too much fabric. So 28 inches. I mean, typically I have to grade in a bit or extend that. Actually, well, I have been lately making bigger darts instead of grading in so much, because I realized that when you scoop the waist too much, like, so say this is, you know, your waist up here and then your hips are here. If you scoop that curve too much, it can throw off the grain. So it's better to have bigger darts so that that curve doesn't get too distorted, if that makes sense. All right, so my waist is about 26 Gonna just round up to account for like food and stuff. So that's a 2-inch difference, which for this really isn't that big of a deal, but I definitely don't want to add more bulk to the waist. So what I'm gonna do, can you tell I'm stalling? I'm telling you, this is really what I do. It takes me a while to kind of figure out like a plan of action, but then once I do, I'm off and running, you know? I like to try to work out as many kinks as I can in the beginning, hopefully, and then that way you don't have to kind of stop and like figure out what the heck I'm doing and try to do fitting like mid-fit, and I'm gonna do a mock-up for sure, especially because I'm gonna be editing or adjusting the measurements, and I just want to make sure it's gonna fit because this fabric, I have plenty of it, but I don't want to have to cut more of this than I have to for, you know, any specific piece, because I really want to make sure I have enough to do the little short sleeve shirt, the shorts, and the little bra top. So this was given to me by Minerva in exchange for a post, so full disclosure. And I love it. It's actually a rayon cotton blend, and it's got a really nice drape. So anyway, all right. I'm thinking since I'm just gonna add it directly to lovely fabric, thank you, I think so. Since I'm gonna just add the width to this piece with non-existing darts, I think I'm just gonna slice it like right here and go straight up to the shoulder. Oh gosh, maybe Topo Chico is a bad idea. Because I'm not worrying about adjusting it from the darts because there aren't any darts. So I'm just gonna pick a spot and adjust from there. Okay. I am going to try to make sure that this is gonna be parallel to the grain. So let me show you that. Okay, so this is the grain line right here. Let me turn this a bit. Hold on. Bear with me again. Sorry. You know, if people like watching some lives like this, I will invest in some better live streaming equipment, but I didn't really want to do that until I figured out if people actually wanted to hear from me or not. So here we are for now. But let's do about 4 inches from that grain line. It looks like a good spot to add, I think. Or, you know what? Should I add directly through the bust area? The other thing is, like I said, because this bust point I kind of just guessed on. I mean, that is my bust point. Actually, yeah, that's true. That is my bust point, so I would have had to adjust it for that anyway. Okay. You know what? I'm thinking I'm gonna just do it directly through the bust point because after all that, I know. Because typically when you do a full bust adjustment, you want to do it through the bust point because that is the point that you're trying to fit for, right? All right, so I'm just gonna draw a line here, and that's gonna become my slicing line right here. So I'm gonna cut this, and I'm going to move it, well, now hang on, because you gotta remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. So if I need to add 3 inches I need to do 1.5 inches because it's going to be doubled. And I'm sorry, I don't work in centimeters typically, so you'll just have to kind of convert in your head. It doesn't really matter. The logic is still there. It doesn't matter if you're doing inches or centimeters. But anyway, okay. So I want to add 3 inches. So I'm going to actually add 1.5 inches. And then from there, I think I'm going to add a dart. I think I'm going to add a dart at the waist. But you know what? I'm not going to do it. Well, I was going to say I'm not going to do it directly from there, but I think I have to. I could also add a dart going to the sleeve as well. Or more like a French dart. What do we think? We can really make the dart go anywhere. Yeah, exactly, French dart. Yeah, you know what? I think that would work because the sleeve is so dropped. Yeah, I think let's go with that. Let's do a French dart. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this. Thanks, Sarah. And I'm just gonna do like a Franken pattern sort of thing, and then eventually I will retrace and start fresh, but I'm not gonna retrace it right now. All right. Just based on the shape of the garment, I think that makes most sense. I think so too. I think you're right. Yes. Very good. Okay. Glad we're on the same page here. Alright, so I am going to just use as little of this as I can. I said yesterday I like to try to be smart with my paper consumption. So just try to add as little as possible, but still being able to fit my purposes. Okay, so I'm gonna tape one side down as kind of the anchor piece, and then I will move the other one where it needs to be. So what's everybody working on? Anything? Just hanging out? All right. Just really want to make sure that that's pretty straight. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to take, whoops, sorry, my ruler, and I'm going to mark one and a half inches along here. I'm gonna move this so it doesn't get damaged. All right. And I'm gonna go well past that because I'm gonna have to extend that tie curve, and I might have to kind of, well, anyway, not yet because I gotta do the actual adjustment. Okay, so I'm gonna take some more tape. And you know what? Take that back. And I'm gonna cut this and leave plenty of extra paper to the other side so that it has something to tape onto. Okay. And now I want to make sure that this line right here is matched up and everything else is matched up. So all right. Okay. And we're taping. And we're taping some more. And oops. You know, I try to be accurate. I'm a recovering perfectionist. So I try to just be as accurate as I can, but I don't beat myself up over it or obsess about it if it's not totally perfect, which I think is pretty healthy mindset. All right, so all right, I'm gonna call that pretty good. So that's with my extension there. That's 1.5 inches extra. And like I said, that's gonna be doubled because you've got 2 front pieces, so that's plus 3 inches. So it should be okay. So now the question is French dart. All right, so my bust piece, or sorry, my bust point will be, you know what? I'm gonna have to redraw this shoulder area a little bit. Okay. The bust point will be about here. I think. I'm gonna hold this up and just see. Here, move you guys so you can see too. Okay. Gotta try not to wiggle that too much. All right. So this is the center front line. Okay. Actually, pretty much almost right where it was before. Yeah, that would make sense because I added it. I don't know. It's about, well, it's about the same as it was before. And I was thinking that, but I wasn't 100% sure, so I'm glad I checked. Anyway. Is that correct? Second guessing myself now. You know what, it's okay. I'm not gonna agonize about it because I am gonna do a mock-up, like I said, and I can kind of get a better idea when it's actually fabric and not paper. So for now, I'm gonna call that good. And let me bring this down a little bit more. All right. So for the French dart, I don't know that French darts have a very specific angle they're supposed to be at. I think it's just kind of, at least from what I've seen, it's just kind of from the bust to sort of about here-ish. So that's what I'm gonna do. I am going to radiate the dart from the bust point, where is it? Right here, to down like towards the waist area. Oh, this is just fabulous. Ah, okay. From the bust point to about here. So, and I think it should work with adding the extra, well, See, now I'm concerned because I'm thinking I didn't add any width or whatever extra fabric or yeah, essentially to the side seam here. So if I take it away from there, I don't know if that's gonna work. I'm not super experienced in pattern drafting. I'm more experienced than I used to be. But for this kind of thing, this is definitely having to kind of make some decisions that typically would kind of be made for you. Like if you have bust darts, then you know where to adjust from. If you have the bust marked out, you know where to adjust from. So that being said, if I were to put a dart, if I were to add a dart here, I'm just gonna think this through. Like I said, I do a lot of like trying to figure stuff out before I even cut into fabric, hopefully. And that does save me fabric. It doesn't necessarily save me time, but it saves me fabric. So yeah, if I took the dart, I think it's gonna have to come from the bottom. And I really should probably add a dart up here too, because I added so much to the shoulder area, and the whole point of doing full bust adjustment is to take out the fullness. Well, it's to add fullness to the bust area specifically without adding fullness anywhere else in the finished garment. The added fullness is still there, it's just darted out or accounted for, essentially. And that took me a while to kind of wrap my head around. It's like the whole point of the full bust adjustment is to add more fabric and then take away the excess fabric where you don't need it from, where you added it. Okay, in case anyone wasn't clear on that. Yeah, so I am going to add a shoulder dart. I'm gonna add a shoulder dart and a waist dart, I think. I was gonna do this, the French seam, or the French dart, but you know, I'm concerned because, like I said, I didn't add, it wasn't here that I needed to take out from. And I'm worried that if I add it here, it's gonna throw this off too much. So I think I need to add one. I mean, ideally it would be where I added this in, because it could just go straight down almost from there. But then that would be incorporated into the tie. See, this is tricky. I was thinking about this before I started streaming, and I'm like, how am I gonna explain this in a way and figure this out where it doesn't look like I don't know what I'm doing, even though I kind of don't. I kind of do. But you know, I think the process might be helpful for somebody to kind of see my train of thought, basically, on how I would tackle this kind of thing. And you know, I'm really not that, I'm not that concerned about it fitting. It's a very loose top, but you know, if I'm gonna make the time to do it, or take the time to do it, then I do want to have a good result. So, and now here's the other consideration, because if you remember, I said I wanted to be able to put buttons on this. So what does that do in terms of adding fabric to this? Should I have just added some to the front? I don't know. What do you think? Do we have any pattern drafting geniuses? Because I certainly am not one. Not yet, anyway. I mean, if you have a tie front, then you're gonna have to have a little, and buttons, you're gonna have to have kind of a suggestion. If you cut your French dart length to the bust point, cut up from the waist to the bust point, then swing the waist fullness into the French dart. If you cut your French dart to the bust point, okay, and cut up from the waist to the bust point, and swing the waist fullness into that French dart. Okay, I think I know what you're saying. So let's try it. All right, I'm gonna move my camera again. Yes, okay. So cut your French dart to the bust point. Cut up from the waist to the bust point. All right. That looks good. And I just, all right. I still feel like that bust point is not where they drafted it for, but I keep having to remind myself it doesn't really matter where they wanted it to be because mine is gonna be different. So, and then from the waist to the bust point, yes, make a hinge, swing the waist fullness. So from here, right, from the waist. So basically, you're saying to do that, like take it from what I added on. Okay. All right. And then swing. Oh yeah, duh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, why did I forgot how to even do that. Oh well. Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate it. Whoops. All right, so let's just pretend like that never happened. Cool. Just kidding. All right, I am going to just, I'm not going to cut this again because it's already been cut. So there we go. I just basically took the tape off of there. And then cut up to here and leave a little bit of paper so we can hinge it. And hopefully I didn't cut too much. I think I'm okay. All right, you got this. Thanks. All right. So now let's see. So I have got to do Well, okay, so here's the other thing. So like I said, my waist measurement is actually like, let's say 2 inches smaller than what they call for. So, I could take a little bit more from here to account for that difference as well. But how much? And also I don't want to forget about the seam allowance. So I'm going to measure from the seam allowance. So if I did an inch here, then that would be an inch on, so that'd be 2 inches total. And okay, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm having a brain fart. If I add 3 inches, well, if I add 1.5 inches here, and if I plan on making 2 darts, I have to divide that 1.5 inches between those 2 darts, correct? I think that's correct. So, unless I wanted to take out more because of my waist measurement, excuse me. So if I did 1 inch here and then 1/2 inch from the shoulder, that could work. All right. Or do I want to do 1.5 inches? Did I do that right, by the way? I think I did. Now I'm second guessing myself. Now I'm questioning my own reality here. I'll have to blend this. Yeah, because that closed that. All right. All right, well, so if I do 1.5 inches down here, the dart is good. Okay. I'm just really wondering, what do you think? Should I try to take out some more from this waist dart because of my waist measurement, or does that kind of throw things off? I feel like that would work, right? Like if I did 1.5 inches for this dart and then another 1/2 inch up top, then that would be 2 inches. And then that would be 4 inches total. No, that's not how that works. That would be a difference of 1.5 inches times 2 for the waist. Well, I only need to do 2 inch difference, so, oh my goodness. See, math. It's, by the time I'm done with something like this, whatever I'm working on, my pattern piece is just covered in like simple math. I'm not going to overthink this. I keep having to remind myself it's really not a big deal. It's really not a big fitting thing. Like it doesn't have to be precise, you know? So I'm going to just go ahead and make the call and do 1.5 inches instead of 1 or 2 or whatever. All right, so I'm going to take some more scrap fabric that I have, scrap paper, Jeez. And I am going to tape this in place. Oh, you know what? I think I need a bigger piece than that. Nope. Hold on. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it's already been almost an hour. Yikes. And I am going to finish this, but then I will be done. I don't want to be doing live too long. All right, so just want to make sure don't waste a ton of paper here. Let me move this down a little bit more so you can see. All right. So here is my, oops, there we go. Here is my French dart here, basically. The hinge cut up from the bottom. Again, shout out to Sarah for the good suggestion. Okay, since you've added fullness at both the waist and the shoulders, you need to take the same amount out in both places. But if I take out more from the waist because, well, you know what? I guess I could just change the side seam a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Well, no, I'm gonna just go ahead and do what I was gonna do originally, because I think that'll be okay. And if it bites me in the butt, you can laugh at me. I am going to do 1.5 inches. Maybe I should just do 1 inch. Well, geez, now you got me second guessing myself again. All right, well, not you. I am second guessing myself because of me. All right, let's see here. Whatever, I'm not gonna overthink it. So, I mean, if I was gonna do it equally, it would be 0.75 inches since I added 1.5 inches, and then I added, or I'm going to add 2 darts. Maybe I should figure out where the other one would go. Probably like, I wonder if that's supposed to be the shoulder. Like here. So that would have to be 0.75 inches. 0.75 inches. But then I do want to take out some of that fullness from the waist. So whatever. I'm just gonna make this one 1 inch and the other one 0.75 inches. Yeah, I think that'll work. No, because if my waist is 2 inches different, so they say 28. And then I've added 3 inches to that. Then my Yeah, so if I add, well, I don't know what the, I probably should have measured what the finished garment measurement was going to be from the waist. Did I do that? 34 inches? Oh, goodness. I feel like I did. No, that wasn't what that was. You know what? I could just measure it now. Try to. Okay, let's try to get an estimate. So that's about 13 inches. So minus 3, because no, minus 1.5. So that's 13 inches minus 1.5. I should do this in my head, but I can't do it in my head. 11.5 times 2. 23 inches, and then the back waist would be it's about that's the waistline right there. Okay. Yeah, I forgot. It did have me mark the waistline on the back only. Let's see. So that would be about all right, so that's 8. Oh, and I got to take out the dart. I can't forget that. So 8 1/4. 8 1/4. And then the dart is it's like 1 1/8. Damn it. 0.125 is 1/8, I'm pretty sure. So that's 9. $9.375. 0.375. That's 3/8. Yeah, that's 3/8. So 9 3/8 times 2, 18 6/8 for the back, plus, is that right? That doesn't sound right. Yeah, 23 inches for the front. So is that right? 11, 41 6/8 inches. Is that sounds, no, you know what, that is right, because the bust is really hardly any different in width from the waist, and the bust was about, what was it? I wrote it down somewhere around here. 42. Yeah, so okay, that makes sense. All right, so you know what? This is like way too much thinking about this. It's really not a big deal. So I'm just gonna add, or subtract the darts. I'm gonna do 1 inch from here and 0.75 inches from the shoulder dart. Okay, sorry. Yikes. I know that was exciting. All right, Brazil. Oh, hello from Brazil. That's cool. All right, so I'm gonna add whatever. Come on. Work with me here, please. All right, yeah, that's good right there. And I'm making sure, like I said, to measure from that seam allowance, where that seam allowance would be. All right. Okay, well, there's my dart. Kind of. Okay, so I'm gonna just cut off some of this excess. Yeah, I think I'm okay. All right, I'm gonna cut off some of this excess scrap. All right, and see, typically that would be folded up. So this would have to be closed. Wait, is that right? Why does that look, no, I didn't do that right. Jeez Louise. Did I? I'm expecting this to be more, like that. What did I do wrong? I did something wrong. Yeah, no, I essentially just cut that and then, that's not right. What did I do? Jeez Louise, people. You guys are really getting to see my real skill level here. Gotta tape the waist shut. Okay. Tape the waist shut. Oh, okay. Yes. Oh my goodness. What would I do without you? All right. Duh. Goodness gracious alive. I swear. See, if I would have gotten there eventually, but because you helped me, it saved me so much time. Thank you. All right. There we go. Okay. Genius. Sarah, you get the MVP trophy from tonight's stream, so thank you. All right. Yeah, that's more like it. See, it's like 3D now. That's how it should be. Okay, so I am going to just figure out where to trim this, though. Okay. There we go. Hooray! She did it! Oh my goodness. How frustrating was that on a scale of 1 to 10? Don't answer that. I don't want to know. Alright, so this part I am just going to... Actually, that was almost exactly... Yeah, that was pretty much exactly the same curve, but slightly different. So there we go. Boop. All right. So now I'm gonna do the shoulder dart, and then I'm gonna call it a night. So let's do that. All right. So I want to have the shoulder dart. I'm thinking not directly from the shoulder point itself, which I think is probably about is that it there? I hate how it doesn't actually mark it. I love the live, thank you. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. I have a feeling you'll need bigger darts, but that's what mock-ups are for. Yeah, you know, that very well may be. Like I said, this pattern is so loose in the bust area because it's really just, you know, tied to fit. It's not fitted hardly at all. So I don't know. If I make the mock-up, and as long as it's not, I'm not like swimming in it, I'm not really gonna be too concerned. So, all right, I'm gonna do, I'm thinking the shoulder is here. Just the way that this is curved, and then, so I'm gonna do it to about, let's just say like here. Okay. All right, I'm gonna cut this. All right, and then okay, so that has to be, I have to free up this side too, like I did, so that it can hinge. Right, see, I'm learning. All right. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I, again, well, you know what? This shoulder seam is a little bit off now, but that's okay. You know what? Crap. I'm gonna have to take the tape off of here. It is hindering me too much. Okay. So I've got to make sure that I measure from the seam line. Don't don't think you need to cut in the shoulder because you aren't moving the fullness around. Am I not? Well, there was too much fullness here and I need to close it, don't I? Oh, geez. Maybe I'm not learning. It's just a shoulder dart, right? Just draw. Oh my God, you're right. Christ on a cracker. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. See, this is good. I'm learning a lot tonight. This is all stuff like again, like I said, I would have gotten there eventually, and after much frustration probably, and like puzzled looks and head scratching, I would have gotten there in the end, but you've just saved me so much time. So again, thank you. Ay, ay, ay. All right, well, I feel quite silly now after all of this, so I am going to draw this in, and then I'm gonna go play some video games because I need a break from thinking, and I just want to go shoot some people on Star Wars Battlefront. All right. So, I just need to basically say, all right, so from here, I want to do 0.75 inches. Okay, so that's like about there. Yeah, okay. Draw from there. What should my next live be about? I might just go ahead actually and cut everything out, and then the next lives could actually be the assembly. I'm gonna have to tape this better. This poor pattern. Oh my goodness. I'm really gonna have to retrace this. And I'm gonna have to blend that a bit better. That is not good. That's what your patterns look like by the end. Yeah, it's she's seen better days. Well, like a better day, because I just traced it today, so anyway, all right, so nope, just that way, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, dang it. I didn't freaking put enough tape on here. Okay. Go. Okay, well, this was something. It was really something. Hopefully hopefully the next one I adjust will be a bit more straightforward. I've done a few full bust adjustments. I haven't done a ton because I only really just started getting somewhat comfortable with them. And of course, you know, I haven't done enough of them really to be fluent though at the same time. So, but yeah, I think that's gonna be okay. Just gonna kind of blend this a bit. All right. Cut that, is that right? Before I cut this. It's gonna be fine at that point of the day. Whoops. Come on. Oop, there we go. Okay, hooray, that's good enough. As Rachel Maxey would say, good enough. Yeah, all right. So the dart, well, you know what, here's the other thing, is the dart really, I should have moved a little bit so it wasn't right there. It's fine, you know, it's fine. I am just going to do the mock-up. I probably will shorten the dart just a little bit, each of these darts. Well, I'm gonna retrace this first. So I'm gonna just move, make a note, move dart point, whatever. That's good enough. Okay, so that'll be a little note to myself so that when I trace this, I will move the dart so it's not going directly, both of them are going directly to my bust point, apex, whatever you want to call it, so that it's not boing. Even though it's a 50s outfit and it could work, I don't know that that's exactly what I'm going for. So there's that. The whole button placket thing, I need to think on that a little bit more. And you know, I think maybe I need to do the mock-up and then see, well, there's gonna have to be overlap for this to work. And because of the tie, it's gonna have a little like, it's gonna have to have a slightly different shape down here to account for the button placket. Or it's not even a placket necessarily, it's just like the button area. It's gonna have to have a little like shape here. So I don't know, maybe I'll just make the mock-up. I'm not planning on making it wearable, though I could do wearable muslin. I do have fabric. There it is. Looking for this. You know, the other thing I was thinking was, rather than trying to finagle a button placement, I could potentially make like a little panel that could kind of go underneath there, you know, and like of the same fabric or contrasting fabric. could put a button, I could put buttonholes on that and then put buttons on the inner facing of the shirt and make like a little modesty panel kind of thing that I could take out if I wanted to. Ooh. And I could have different ones. I could have a matching green one, or I could do a contrasting one. What do we think about that idea? I kind of like that idea. The only thing would be that the facing would have to be secure enough. It wouldn't be like flopping around like crazy. I don't know. What do you think? I think I might give it a shot. So let me do a little sketch. Just get closer to the table. Uh-oh. The little stand that my phone is in is very, it's angry with me. All right, so if I did like a, you can't see that, hold on. I did like a little, hold on, get this. It's gonna have the darts now because I made darts. And then tie. Okay, so see if you can see that. I don't know. All right, so that's like my little rough sketch here. I don't know if you can really see that. And then if I made a little modesty panel essentially here, I could do, because I don't want to wear it all the time necessarily, but like I would like to be able to wear it as sort of like a little cover up, like so. But like I said, I really would like to wear it when I don't want to show skin too. And I mean, I guess I could wear a camisole. I've never been a camisole person, you know. Have a few, but just not really into those. So could make a little like panel and potentially even put some little buttons on it. Just like a few little, you know, maybe not quite that V, but and then I'm thinking this little panel could be kind of, I mean, it would be shaped like this essentially. It would be like a stomacher kind of, you know, from the old gowns. Those might have just been decorative. Maybe that's not what I mean. And so then, and like, I don't know how wide it would have to be, but it could just be like that. And I could even do, if I really wanted to get fancy, I could do like some pleating or, yeah, pleating or pin tucks. Ooh, that would be cute. And then I could put buttonholes here, here, or like wherever, maybe at the four corners or something. And then, so on the inside of the facing here, because that would be like, you know, inside it could have buttons that I would button to that. I don't know. It's like kind of a little extra work. But that would really give me the freedom, the versatility for this top, which I really would like. And it would just be another way, another look basically for this piece. I think I will try it with my mock-up. I wasn't planning on doing, like I said, I wasn't planning on doing a wearable muslin, but typically when I do a mock-up, I don't really do the facings unless it's wearable. Hold on. So I would hate to do facings and everything on just like regular muslin. You know what, I've got so much fabric here, I'll attempt a wearable muslin, and I will try this little modesty panel thing out. Modesty panel, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel particularly strongly about modesty per se, but I don't necessarily want to show my whatever this is skin all the time. So I would like that option if I want to. And you know, that's the other thing, actually. They used to have a lot more like Dickies and mix and match kind of accessories to wear with different shirts, so you get a different look with just a little bit of fabric. So this would be very era appropriate, I think, to do this. And like I said, I could have different colors. I could have one of the same fabric and then a white one, kind of a whatever this like kind of pinkish clay color is. I don't know, we'll see. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about that. So I don't have to actually adjust the front of this anymore. So I'm just gonna try that. That's really not that helpful to you. There we go. So I think I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna go play some PlayStation. And I will see you guys next time. I don't know when my next stream is gonna be. Not this weekend, maybe later this week, but I will be not here this weekend. So if not later this week, next week. So I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. And let me know if there's anything specific you'd like to see for a future stream. I'm gonna try to do more adjustment kind of videos. This one was a pretty big failure for full bust adjustment, but that's okay. We got there in the end, right? And again, thank you, Sarah, if you're still here, for helping me out. That really was a big help. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.